What's the total you've got it?
$813,398.31.
398, okay. So what that says is that there's been an improvement
Right.
in unpaid taxes. There's fewer people
Missing the payment.
that have missed payments.
Right.
Plus, you have to then look at what was collected in the prior years to see, you know, what else is going on. But you have those numbers here.
So it's about 812, Sean, if you add the 425 and the 3,900.
I came up with 813,000.
Yeah, all right, yeah. 'Cause
398.
It's almost $4,000, okay.
That's the new variance number?
No, that's 09.
Oh,
No
nine.
09
It's the 09 what?
variance number.
Okay.
For '09 only,
Um,
collections versus commitment.
I mean, it went up from 384
Right.
Yeah.
to 813.
Yeah, it's just the way,
Sure, I understand.
just the way the math.
That's fine.
Now, of the uncollected taxes,
Subtracted from here, should have taken that number.
Okay, good. Thank you.
unpaid real estate, there are 219 bills,
For-
For FY10?
just FY10.
When you say bills, are you talking about a specific residence or a specific
this is all
bill
of them.
sent to a residence?
There's 219 individual bills for 467,000 that has not been collected.
But you said the variance is 671,000.
Yeah, well, there's refunds, and this is what was printed off today from it's not gonna tie because partial payment and reporting cannot be accurately tied back to the year-to-date or status history payment totals due to possible refunds. This is the other system that prints what they have outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the treasurer has outstanding.
That's a big, that's the difference between those, that's a big number.
It is a big
It's a
number.
couple $100,000.
Well, it's 506 to, no, it's.
No, it's, well, 506 if you reduce that subsequent year tax title number.
Right.
But you're working from a $671,000 variance.
Well, not anymore.
But those aren't on here, though. Those subsequent, she's a step ahead. She doesn't include the 164 in here.
Okay.
So you want to compare the 506 to the 467, which is about 39,000. And there's refunds, there's things that,
All right, that brings it closer together.
Yeah, it's 39, it's almost 40 grand.
right, and there's, different, it's basically the refunds that haven't been posted up. Now, there are no big, extremely large taxpayers in here. I mean, the largest bill, I can see there's one for 13,000, there's one for 20,000. The rest of them are just your average tax bill. Now, these don't go to tax title until February. This is how the policy's been here. So in February, if they're not paid, then they will get liened.
And what's our process to get them paid now? I know we're doing something different this year than we have done.
First you advertise, then you do the tax title taking. And that happens in February.
That all.
So-
So we're not doing anything in the meantime.
No, because you give them a little bit, a chance to pay.
So, I guess the $64,000 question, or the $10 million question, whatever you want to call it, is, given this situation, right, which we don't concern ourselves from the point of view, we don't have to make it up in our operating
Right,
budgets,
we don't.
right? But it does damage the free cash calculation,
Yes.
which is where we're trying to get to. I don't know if you can get to it tonight, but
I can give you a ballpark of turnbacks, about 600,000.
okay.
I still need one more month of receipts. I mean, we're on target with our receipts on May. I mean, we hit most of them in May, so in my report to Greg, what we collect in June should put us over.
So I guess, is it fair to ask that we, at our next board meeting, we put this on the agenda and we have this wrapped up?
When will that be, 2 weeks?
It'll be the first Monday in,
Yeah,
well,
August 2nd.
August 2nd.
Yeah, I should have receipts. I mean, Treasurer's is gonna finish up this week with the bank statements, and then the final report comes to the fire department to get uploaded. Yeah, I can see, you have the final receipts by August 2nd, and hopefully the balance sheet
Well,
done.
you've got 2 weeks to,
Yeah, well, they've been working on it. Don't forget, there's some little quirks to iron out with the new system. You know, the refunds don't post up.
any,
They will eventually when we get the,
I think we need to make that a goal.
it's attainable.
All right, then,
I think it's more of a priority than a goal. I mean, I think we are critical that we need the information sooner than later. So I'd like to say to really, I mean, I hate to step over you, but I think it's more of a priority. It's gotta get done in advance of August 2nd. We need to have it in advance of August 2nd, because you know what? I don't understand about 50% of what's in front of me. I have a better grasp on it now, but you know what? This was put in my packet tonight, and I tried to understand it without any explanation, and I only got about 50%, and I don't want that to happen again. I'd like to come to the next meeting, have an idea to be able to read it, and maybe come to the office if I have to ask questions in advance.
Come to the office
Yeah,
this
I'd love
week.
to. I know your people are wonderful. They answer all my questions, but this doesn't work for me coming in and getting this the night of a meeting, and and we are at a critical point. I'd like to make it a priority if we can, to get it done. So if
Well,
you
it
guys
is.
could try to get your,
Our goal is now to close the year.
well,
Get 210 done.
so we're talking somewhere around July 27th, July 28th, cleaned up, wrapped up, and have a report ready for us to look at. So that gives us, 3 days to kind of bleed through it and prepare questions. Is that possible?
Yeah, if things get done this week, like I was told.
well, bring the message back.
Oh, I
We're
will.
expecting it, okay?
It's critical. It really is critical for every town employee and all the people that work hard for this town every day. We have to get it done.
All right, and if you want to come in the meantime.
Absolutely, I plan on, it. Definitely.
One-on-one is a lot
Okay, any
easier.
other questions for Joe?
Big crowd.
No?
Thank you. Wonderful, though. Thank you for
All
pulling.
right, I guess we have a,
Joe?
large group here, I assume, here regarding the issue of trucks on Chestnut Street. Maybe we'll start with the police chief. I want to speak from the podium there. Thank you.
Hi, Chief.
Cedar Street, Chestnut Street, Havel Street, Parker Drive area. The town administrator and I, during our last weekly meeting 2 weeks ago, discussed the receipt of a petition signed by 40 residents of the area. And we came up with a draft action plan in which he was gonna take a role, DPW was taking a role, and the police department was gonna take a role. I went back to our department, met with the commanding officer of our traffic division, and asked his traffic team to research some of our more recent records. We've changed computer systems since 2007, so it's difficult to go back historically beyond that period of time. But going back to the operational period of 2008 through August of 2009, it's interesting that we had conducted several selective enforcement efforts in that area. And during the times that the officers were assigned to that location, they did observe multiple trucks traveling in that location, and they only found like 2 or 3 that were going faster than the posted speed limit. But they did recognize the fact that the trucks traveling along that road, particularly along Chestnut Street, were creating a significant amount of noise as they bounced off of obstacles on the road, such as manhole covers or utility covers on the roadway. These efforts went on off and on for a period of time. We also worked with the Department of Public Works. Mike Sorgan was instrumental, and Dave Hanlon, his former boss, in coming up with a doable plan that could reach and achieve some immediate goals, and that was the installation of new curbing and crosswalks in that area, along with the installation of several new signs. There was an inquiry made by the town as to whether trucks could be prohibited, and we found that the town of North Reading did not reach the threshold necessary to implement a ban or exclusion of trucks through that area. And the other interesting thing is I met with Representative Jones about prohibiting the use of Jake brakes in North Reading. And it was Representative Jones' opinion that was illegal. They're there for a reason. They're disturbing, and it would be something that we could not enforce. But based upon our meeting with the town administrator regarding the most recent petition, which was the first time I had actually seen it, was on that particular date, 2 weeks ago, the one that was authored in 2010, our traffic division has come up with an action plan, and one was to establish, one of our objectives was to establish an immediate law enforcement collaborative with the Mass State Police truck team. The town administrator provided me a contact number with a sergeant, I forget what his name is now, Sergeant Fitzgerald, who has now recently been promoted to lieutenant, and he's the commanding officer of that unit. And I got a call, very nice call, from his boss, Major Amadeo, who is the troop commander for Troop A, which he oversees Andover Barracks and the Danvers Barracks, and said that he would like to work with our department in a cooperative venture. And there was an immediate date that was established of this past Friday. And a team of troopers trained by the Department of Transportation, as well as through their own training through the motor vehicle laws, along with their vans that have about $50,000 worth of equipment in the vans, set up operation in the New Street, Chestnut, Cedar Street area. Spent some time there, and then they spent some time on South Main Street. They met at 4 o'clock in the morning. They were up and running by 5 a.m., and they were done by 10 a.m. And they do it that way because they explained to us that it doesn't take very long for truckers to use their communication systems to alert each other that there is an operation underway. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a few moments. The next effort we will do is to get some of our officers from our traffic team trained. We actually were trying to schedule our officers this past May to attend the State Police-run truck training team school, which would enhance our ability to enforce Chapter 90 laws with reference to motor vehicle infractions and equipment failures on heavy commercial motor vehicles. However, due to budgetary constraints, we had to put it off, and we are on a list right now, and it's likely we're going to be trained by the state police in August or September of this coming year, of 2010, this year. So That's an important first